Good morning, lovely yogis. So for our yin practice today, you'll need a block or a thick book, a big pillow or a bolster, as well as a blanket. Remember, my yin yoga is all about, if it doesn't feel right for you, then don't do it rest in child's pose until the next pose, or find something that works better. We don't want to experience any numb, tingling, or pain. So with your block in front of you at the top of your mat, at its highest height, and then sitting in a regular cross-leg position, push your legs a little bit farther away from your body than you would usually have them. Just a loose cross-leg position. And then take a deep breath in, lift up through the top of your head. And exhale, bring your forehead down to the block. If your forehead does not reach comfortably, then bring your elbows to the block instead, resting your forehead in your hands. And then take a moment to center and to take long and deep breaths, coming into your own space, coming into your feeling body. Letting everything slow down, letting your tongue come down away from the roof of your mouth. Maybe puff your cheeks out with some air, just to release the jaw. We want to really keep that jaw relaxed through the entire practice today. Our theme today, we are working with the Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra, which sits between the eyebrows and up just a little bit. This chakra governs reason and logic, intelligence, empathy, depression, stress, and denial. This point refers to the interior of the brain. It is associated with a cluster of structures around the brainstem, including the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the pineal glands. Ajna in Sanskrit is an archaic term that translates to knowledge or wisdom. This is an inherent embodied wisdom. It is a non-conceptual wisdom, not limited to cognition or intellectual function, but likened to a kind of sixth sense. This is your doorway to perception, which is always colored by the point of view of the perceiver. Images, thoughts, and memories project onto this screen of the mind. So we close our physical eyes and gaze inwards with the third eye, so that we can see our inner landscapes. Bringing our mantra in right away. For when your mind wanders, repeat these words to yourself. My mind is clear, I am enough. My mind is clear, I am enough. Coming into a place of stillness within your breath, body, and mind. We're slowly switching off all of our thoughts, our to-do lists, and coming and sinking into that stillness. Focus on your breathing. Watch it as it slows down and starts to work on softening the body. Let's take 3 more full breaths in and out. After your last exhale, slowly walk yourself back up. And then we're switching the cross of our legs so that our opposite leg is in front. Again, pushing the legs away from the body. Make it a loose cross-leg position. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. And exhale, lower forehead to block, or have your elbows on the block with your forehead resting in your hands. Once you're down, you're sending your awareness through your body, relaxing jaw, keeping some space between your top and bottom teeth, and moving that awareness down through the body to relax the shoulders, the hips, all the way. The mind is wandering, bring it back to the breathing, lengthening, bringing the ocean breath into your ears. We're taking 3 more full breaths in and out. And after your last breath, slowly lift your gaze and make your way back up, releasing slowly and with ease. So we're leaning back on our hands, bringing our feet to the edges of our mat, and doing a few windshield wipers to help release the hips. Tuning into everything the body is saying to you, tuning into how the release feels, how the pose itself felt. And we're tuning into those feelings, but we're being detached from them, so we're watching how we react. We're just being a witness. Our next pose is called half butterfly. So stretching your left leg out at an angle beside you and bringing your right foot into the inner thigh. Just gently relaxing it there. It doesn't have to press into the leg. We're going to line our torso up over our left leg, so twisting. And then you have options for props. You can either bring your pillow bolster all the way down the left leg and slide down, resting different ways on the bolster. You can as well use a block on the leg to rest your forehead. Or else just plant your hands on either side of the left leg. Whichever you prefer, take your time to get yourself set up. Once you're ready, wiggle your left toes, release any kind of flex that you're holding there. Take a few deep breaths and let your body sink forward naturally with gravity. Don't force it down. Breathing just to find the spots where you're holding on, where you're unintentionally holding on. Maybe it's through the leg. Maybe it's through the shoulder blades. Maybe it's in your mind. So you're breathing for the first minute just to soften and relax. So relax your eyes. Relaxing the eyes fosters a parasympathetic response in the body. Fixing your gaze on a certain point is called drishti. And our drishti today is with our eyes closed, gazing up towards our third eye. we're taking 5 more full breaths in and out, letting everything slow down, keeping the breath long and slow. And to release first, slowly lift the gaze towards your toes. And then walking yourself back up so that your spine is nice and tall. Remove your blocked bolster. And again, take windshield wiper. You can take all the time that you need for those releases. When you're ready, bringing your right leg out at an angle. Left foot comes into the inner thigh. And moving props for the other side. If you found that you needed a block instead of a bolster, or a bolster instead of a block, you can always make those changes from side to side. You want to make sure you're comfortable when you're sinking in, so wiggle your right toes, release the flex, take a nice deep breath, lift up through the heart, create space, and then exhale, slowly sink down. Remember, everybody is different, and your sinking might not look like very much, but over time you might notice the body goes deeper, is able to still longer. Close your eyes and gaze towards your third eye. Stilling the gaze is a very old yogic method. Fluctuations within the eye contributes to the production of thought patterns in the forebrain. As the eyes flutter and dance, they prompt a narrative of images. In waking, when the eyes dart to and fro, they indicate restlessness, distraction, and heightened levels of activity. Take a deep breath and relax just a little bit more through the torso, through the shoulder blades, and through the jaw. 5 more full breaths. And after your last exhale, lift your gaze to your toes and slowly push your way back up. Feeling all those sensations as you go slow. And again, windshield wiper to release. Watching what your mind is doing and physically what your body is doing. So our next pose is called dangling, and it's one of the only standing poses in Yin Yoga. So we'll need our block at the front of our mat on its highest height. Bring your feet up, hip distance apart, lift your toes, spread them, and then gently place them back down. Plant your hands on the block and lift. So your inhale, lifting halfway, gazing ahead of you. And then as you exhale, you're dangling forward, letting gravity come all the way down through the spine, through the back of the neck. Keep your hands planted onto the block or onto the floor, and you can have a bend in your knees, as much of a bend as you need. You can also rest your elbows on your legs if that is easier. So make sure you are grounded. If you must come out of this pose, it's not working for you, do not stand up. Do not stand straight up. Come down to your hands and your knees. So once you've started dangling, start to breathe long breaths, letting the back of your neck and your shoulder blades release down towards the ground. Finding your stillness and softening. Watching as your harder edges come up. Harder edges are aches, are lots of sensation. If it's too much to breathe through, then yes, come down to tabletop. Use your ocean breath. It is your best tool. We're taking 5 more full breaths. Watch what your exhale does to your body. Let's take 5 more full breaths in and out. And watch what it does to the body. Watch as your exhale fills the body. Inhale fills the body, and the exhale releases through the spine. And then with your next inhale, push your hands into the block. Don't come all the way up. Just lift yourself halfway, straightening through the spine, looking ahead of you. And then bend your knees. Bring your hands down to the ground in front of you and come into a tabletop position. So from here, do a couple cat-cows for your release. Nice and gentle with the spine. As well as coming back off the hands, sitting back on your feet. Roll the shoulder blades down the back body and take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready for the next pose, we're coming into melting heart pose. So from tabletop, knees are hip distance and stacked under the hips. We're going to bring our hands further up the mat towards the top edge. Fingers spread nice and wide, and with straight arms, you're going to let your heart dip towards the ground, keeping the arms straight. You can rest on the side of your temple, your forehead, or your chin if that's okay for your neck. If that is too deep, you can bring some length between the hands. Try that out. If it is still not working for your shoulders, then you can slide your pillow or bolster underneath your chest, resting like that. And of course, child's pose is the last modification. So whichever works for you, take your time adjusting, getting into your pose, and then start your ocean breath. Keeping your gaze towards your third eye, watching what's happening inside. If you're resting on the side of your temple, switch your gaze to the other direction and continue breathing. Five more full breaths in and out. To release this pose, you slide your hands and elbows slowly in towards your body, one at a time, sitting yourself back into a closed knees child's pose with your forehead resting on the ground and your arms at your sides. Let the shoulders sink in towards the earth. Breathe into the legs. And then when you're ready, push yourself rounding up through the spine, all the way to the top. Roll the shoulder blades down the back body and take a breath. Take a moment, maybe it feels good to do a couple very slow and gentle neck rolls from side to side, or to even roll the shoulders back. When you're ready, come to your seat. We'll need our bolster or a pillow for the next one, and bring it lengthwise behind you, pulling it up to the right edge of the mat to your right hip. Good. So there are 3 levels for this next one. Bending your legs and bringing your feet on the edges of your mat, sitting up nice and tall. Let both knees fall over to the right side so that the top of the left knee meets the bottom of the right foot. Level 1, you're simply bringing your hands out in front of you, planting them in, and sitting here and breathing. Level 2 is you're bringing your elbow to the pillow or bolster behind you, stretching out this left hip side body area. For the full, we'll be twisting our torso down so that our belly is on the pillow, gazing either over the left or the right. So before you come down, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, twist towards your pillow, laying your belly down, and gazing either to the left or to the right. Adjusting anything you need to. And then start your ocean breathing. Work at softening and keeping your eyes closed. Taking a full inhale in, and see if you can relax through your shoulder blades just a little bit more. Let's take 5 more full breaths in and out. After your last exhale, slowly push up onto your hands and bring yourself back and around. You can take a moment to, again, windshield wiper the legs. And then setting up for the other side. Moving the bolster down the left side behind you, lengthwise. Up towards your left hip. Bring both your knees over to the left-hand side so that the top of the right knee meets the bottom of the left foot. Whichever level you're working at on this side, take a nice deep breath in, lengthen up, and then exhale, twisting back. Nice and slow, coming into your posture. Making any kind of adjustments that you need. And once you're settled in, take a deep breath. Let it travel through the body. Keeping your mind on the mantra. My mind is clear. I am enough. Taking a full inhale and exhale through the shoulder blades, releasing a little bit more. And let's take 5 more full breaths in and out. After your last exhale, slowly push yourself back up, bringing yourself around to the front, and taking a moment to do a couple windshield wipers from side to side. Our last pose before Shavasana is on our back body. So take a moment, bring the blanket out from underneath you and grab your block. When you're ready, roll down to your back. Hug the knees in and gently rock from side to side. As well as stretching yourself out completely. Take a deep breath in as you stretch. And as you exhale, release everything to the ground. Hit the pause button. And so modified bridge with a block. At whichever height, we're going to bend our knees, plant our feet in hip distance apart, and then when you're ready, tuck the shoulder blades, lift the hips, and slide the block at whichever height works for your body under the sacrum. So take a moment to find that sweet spot, adjust the block. Make sure there's no pinching or tingling happening. Readjust your shoulder blades so that they're under and you have lots of space to breathe in the heart center. And then let your hips sink back into the block. Softening where you can. And if you want to try going just a little bit more, you can bring your arms straight up above your head, resting your fingertips on the ground above your head. Remember, you can change your mind and bring your arms back down to your sides at any time. See how that feels while you're breathing. And then again, if you would like a little bit more, stretching your legs straight down below you. Either one at a time or both at the same time. Breathing and relaxing. Softening through the jaw, keeping the eyes turned up towards the third eye. Five more breaths wherever you are. After your last exhale, slowly drag your feet back up so that they're planted in, hip distance apart. And then bring the arms back down beside the body. And before you lift the hips off of the block, take a moment just to gently press through the bottoms of your feet, building strength in the lower back. When you're ready, lift just enough to slide the block out from underneath the sacrum and lower the hips slowly down to the ground. Hit the pause button, tenting your knees with your feet further apart, and just feel any sensation happening in your lower back. And then if you'd like to very, very gently bring your knees up, rocking from side to side. You can also windshield wiper your knees from side to side or stretch out. And then lying flat on your back and preparing yourself for Shavasana. If you'd like to have a blanket over top of you, as well as a bolster under the backs of your knees, take that time. Once you are settled in, once you are warm, let's take 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, releasing everything. Shoulder blades are gently folded under. Your arms are at your sides, palms up or down, whatever feels best for your shoulders. Your legs and feet are naturally falling away from one another. Releasing the body, emptying yourself of muscular tension, and dropping with gravity into the earth. Resting, feeling fully supported, and letting a profound stillness envelop you. Letting all traces of self-limited identity drop away and experience boundlessness and peace. Bringing your awareness to your third eye between your eyebrows and up a little bit. And imagine a bright, vivid indigo color emerge from your third eye and spread out over the entire body. I invite you to stay in Shavasana for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure you do not skip Shavasana. And thank you so much for tuning in today. Namaste.